Well, howdy everybody. How's everybody doing on this Sunday evening? As you can see, I've got one of my T-bone steaks out. I'm going to cook one of these T-bone steaks on my pit boss. But I thought I'd take time to show you guys my take on a perfectly cooked T-bone steak. Now I have heard some people out there don't really particularly care for T-bone. Because a T-bone, as you know, this is your hard side, if you want to say, the non-good meat side. And this meat right here is your tenderloin side. That meat's always the tenderness, part of the T-bone, and it's a good cut. But what do you do with this side here to get it to good, to be good? So I'll show you guys my take on trying to cook this bad boy and still making it good. So what I'm going to do is, as you notice, it's got a little miscolor because it's been in the refrigerator. I put these things clear back in the back of the refrigerator where it's really, really cold, almost frozen. It's pretty near frozen back there. But I've got it out here. Now I'm not going to marinate this thing or do anything spectacular with this. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get the grill going. I got the grill coming up to temperature. I got it set at 400 degrees. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put some of my seasoning on top of here. Now I'll show you what I'm going to put on my seasoning. Now that I know that everybody's tastes are different, everybody's season their steaks different, put A1 sauce on it, yada yada yada. I don't like A1 sauce. I like seasoning my steak with spices that I know I like. Well, one thing to do is to take some of this Everglazed seasoning to get your sodium content. So I just sprinkle just a touch on it, just a little. This will get, whoa, too much, a little too much there. Maybe just a touch, just a touch. I better spread some of this out a little bit here. That's a little too much there. There we go, that's a little better. But just ever so much to get a flavor. Well, I'm screwing it up, but anyways, you get the picture. I don't want that much in one area, but that's just for your salt content. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little Cajun seasoning on it. Put a little Cajun on this bad boy. And you can put on as much as you want. I like a little extra Cajun seasoning, so I put a little extra on it. Look at that, look at that. Look at that's going good. And then I've also found this stuff here. This is a savory steak and chop rub from Trade East. I get this at Gordon Food Service, and I just so slightly sprinkle some of this on there. Just a little. Just a nice little coating. Now I'm going to leave this sit on here for a few minutes, let it soak in a little bit. I'll pat it in, and we'll get this thing on the grill. So as you can see, the pit boss here is set at 400 degrees, and it's actually 445 degrees in this pit boss right now. Well, let's get it going here. So what I want to do is, I got the meat here, soaked in this rub and spices. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place this meat on the grill, just like this, face down. With the spices I've just put on, upside down. It's already soaked in the meat. So now I'm going to put it upside down like this. I want this tender piece of meat facing out, rough part of the meat facing in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of this rub on this, so I'll get this going real quick. Okay, there we go, guys. I got the stuff on this side, so now I'm just going to leave her cook for a few minutes. So while I'm waiting for that meat to cook for a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and get these deluxe gluten-free rice pasta and shells and cheese dinner cooking here real quick. So get this stuff in. I gotta watch for the packet of the cheese packet here. Anyways, there we go. Get this cooking. Okay, now that I got that going, I added a few spirals to this. So it's got the shells in it, the rice shells, and I got some regular pasta. Spirals in it. So get that cooking up here real good. Now we'll get back to my meat. It's been cooking for a few minutes now. Okay, let's see what this thing's doing in here. Oh, look at that, look at that. Okay, now since it's been going on in here for a few minutes, what I want to do is turn this thing over. So what I do to turn this thing over, as you notice, I keep the fat part towards most of the heat. And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is going to do a trick here, is I'm going to cover these steak in butter. So while it's cooking on the other side now, I'm going to put pads of butter on top of the steak. So I'll get that done here real quick. Okay, as you can see, I've added the stick butter, about 1/4-inch pieces of butter. I used about a 1/4 stick of butter on that. Now is when I want to turn this heat down. I'll turn it down to 350 or even 300 sometimes. Turn her down. Now I'll just shut the lid and let her cook. Let her finish cooking. That butter will melt right into that meat. So I'll show you here in a little bit after it gets melted. Well, it looks like my pasta's ready to go. I gotta drain it. Turn the heat down on it. Drain. I squeezed a packet of cheese into the pot like so. So get this done. Okay, now since I got the cheese in the bottom of the pan, since I have some of this ham here, the Smithfield Anytime ham, I'm going to put some of this in there. That's going to be good. So get that in there. And since I got ham in here, and I put some extra stuff in the pasta in, throw some extra shredded cheese in there too while I'm at it. So get this going. So now while all this is going on in here, I gotta get back out to the meat. Let's see what's going on with it. Oh yeah. As you can see, the butter's all melted off of it. And that is looking absolutely delicious here, guys. So anybody, whenever you want to take this off the grill, you're more than welcome to. If you like yours medium well or rare or whatever, take it off. I'm going to leave mine on for a little while longer. So I think it's probably about time to shut this thing down. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to shut the grill off and let this sucker sit in here for a while. So that's what I'm going to do. Shut her off. Let her sit. Okay, gotta get this pasta back in the bowl and get the stuff mixed up in here. Now, if anybody knows me by now, I gotta put some stuff in this pasta. So what I'm gonna start out with, I'm gonna add some garlic in here. Oh yeah, I gotta have some garlic. Then we put some Italian seasoning in here. Gotta have the Italian seasoning in it. So throw some of this Italian seasoning in it, get it all mixed up in here. That's gonna be good. Okay, now since I got that all mixed up, now it's time to add the vegetable. Remember me telling you? Add a vegetable to it? Well, guess what? I got some broccoli here. I'm going to add some broccoli to this delicious thing. So get them in. So there we go, guys. I just turned an ordinary box of gluten-free rice pasta shells into a meal in itself. Got ham, broccoli, and extra cheese in there. And does that ever look good? And on top of that, I got T-bone steak laying on top of it. So let's go get my T-bone. So let's see what this thing looks like. Oh yeah, buddy. Yum ditty. Let's get this thing out of here. Put this thing on this plate. I'll pick it up by the bone here so I don't ruin the meat. Looky there, looky there. Oh yeah, that butter's just rendered down over that. We'll get this sucker in the house, guys. So there it is. There's my T-bone steak, perfectly cooked. Well, let's hope it's perfectly cooked for me, that is. So I'm going to cut into this thing. You can see the butter's just still rendering down over this top of this sucker. This thing is good. So let's get this thing open. Now, if anybody has any complaints about this steak, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Some people are just idiots. But anyways, look at this. Look at that. That is almost dead nuts perfect. A little pink. I like a little pink. It's alright. But look at the juices coming out of that. This piece is still juicy and tender. And this piece right here, the tenderloin side, that is even juicier, even better. That's how I cook my T-bone, guys. Yeah, some people say, oh, you don't have no taste buds if you eat it that done steak. Well, my taste buds are just fine, guys. And this is the perfectly cooked, perfectly seasoned T-bone steak. Plus, I got some other here to show you. My pasta on top of it yet to boot. Look at that pasta dish. That is a meal in its own right there, guys. But I got T-bone steak here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this little cook that I showed you for my T-bone steak and my take on it. And what I do to cook it on the grill to make it nice, tender, and juicy. So there you go, guys. Yum ditty. That's some good eating right there, boys and girls. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for always watching.